Okay. So I'm just going to go through and find pain in the Next.js community. Keeping these things in mind. I'm going to open this up on my other screen so I can always be looking at that. Specific examples, direct quotes, no jumping to conclusions. That's a hard one for me. And grouping together things at the end. So let's find, starting with Reddit. Start with this one. So understanding, optimizing Next.js usage on Vercel. Curious if anyone reads Next.js is to run into limits on the pro plan of Vercel. Let's say pro plan, let's say run into limits on the pro plan on Vercel. Can't really jump to conclusions, even though I probably won't talk about their business. But it has insights on understanding usage CSV. Understanding the usage CSV. Optimize app that's up to date on all the best practices. Including get static props, ISSG everywhere, edge caching, and long expirations. Let's see, how do I turn to my line? There's my line wrap. Completely external caching image resources. Growing organically for 2+ years. For 2+ years. Hard limits being imposed by the sales team. Try and move us to an enterprise plan. Enterprise plan. Since this isn't something I can help with, I'm going to back out of this one. I don't ever see myself talking about Vercel this much. So I'm gracefully bowing out of that pain. I didn't even know Next Redux wrapper was a thing. Not working as expected. Here's my current setup with Next Redux wrapper works. Wow, they go into a lot of detail here. How am I going to summarize this without taking down all the details? Well, let's start writing. Get initial props. Await a Redux action. I have access to the store dispatch function thanks to the Next Redux wrapper. Action fetches some example data off Room API. Sounds fairly normal. The action fetches data. The action adds the data to the reducer. I'm actually really curious how much Next Redux wrapper is used. Let's see. Is this something people are actually using? I guess npm stats. Published 3 months ago. It's good to know. $90,000 weekly downloads. Okay. Fascinating. Well, that's obviously something people use. Get initial props pulls the data from the reducer. Returns it. And the function to be used as props in the page. The app is rendered. It's funny, I didn't expect these to be such thorough questions going in. The app is rendered to the front end and 6 in the front, and I try to access the reducer to get the data. Oops. I inserted to it in the back end, and for some reason it is completely empty, and I have to fetch again that same data in order to use it globally. This seems like the key piece here. I'm going to, well, I guess I can't wrap with bold. Wrap that with bold. Okay. Let's wrap with underlines. No. We'll just say note, or what's a good way to mark something for myself? We'll do this. John. No, that's like a markdown. I'll say 6 is the key question. If I can type question. I expect to have the front end reducers already populated with all the data provided to them in the back end. In fact, because of that, there's a bunch of code. Let's see. I expected to have the front end reducers already populated, and I can't use the use selector hook in order to access the data in the reducer and render the data to the page. It's interesting trying to pull out the important bits because there's just so many important bits. Hey Horatio, hey Laurel. Hey Zach.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Yo.
Did you just end the stream or?
No, did it turn off?
Okay.
Oh, I can turn it back on.
No, that's fine. We were in our like cohort meeting, and then we like Laura saw you stream and said, "Hey, let's just hop
cool.
in."
Yeah, hop on. I'm not sure why it dropped off. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
And your face.
And my face. Yeah, this is OBS mirrored into Discord, so I'm like streaming live, and you guys should be on
your like virtual screens and wires crossing, and John's
like,
setup is
The Discord audio is feeding back into OBS and should be streaming to the world. So say smart things.
Hey world.
Hello
yeah,
world.
That
exactly.
was not
That's
smart.
that's always a smart thing. Um,
Are you on Twitch too?
Yeah.
You are. Hype in the chat.
yeah. Have any of you done the Painstorming? Let's see. I know Laura has.
I have not.
You have not?
At least not official.
You haven't gone through like the videos to see how the
Mhm.
Sales Safari works around this? But it's interesting because like going through the materials, like the Painstorming cheat sheet with his summarizing what Amy did. It's talking about specific examples and direct quotes and not jumping to conclusions. So you're essentially just gathering all this information. And then once you've gathered all the information, then you can kind of consolidate it into bigger ideas and stuff. And I'm on this post now where someone has a very specific Next Redux wrapper question. And I don't know how specific I should get into their question because everything is important in here. And I'm almost like typing 1-to-1, as you can see.
Yeah.
what they wrote
Could
down.
you do? I mean, I don't know the official process, but I'd like the way I'd do it would be just progressive summarize it. So like pull in as much context as you want, and then bold the extra painful words.
Yeah.
If that's the way to say it.
Yeah, and that's what I guess it's just a long post. That's just kind of the nature of it.
Oh yeah, it is.
So I guess this is it. I expected to have the front end reducers already populated with all the data I provided. Like that's the expectation. So I would say like this is the key I'm taking away from here. And it's funny, like I never even heard of Next Redux wrapper, but obviously like I grabbed some of the like 90,000 weekly downloads on NPM, and it's obviously a thing.
People love that Redux.
Yeah. Let's bold this. I expected to have in the front end the reducers already populated. With all the data I provided to them in the back end. Yeah. Well, with all the data I provided to them in the back end. All right. So let's see what people respond. And it was funny in the videos I watched with Amy and the exercises we did. Her example was painters and people picking colors for walls and stuff. And it was a lot less logical. Like this seems very like
straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very like programmery. A lot less pain and a lot more puzzle, I guess. Wow, that's a good, nice summary right there. Pass initial state to preloaded state in your configure store function. I'm going to mark this as OP, and so we know who the original poster is. And we'll mark these as responders. What do you call someone who commenters?
Replies.
Yeah.
Replies. Yeah. Say replies. It looks like did I get a bunch of upvotes? I don't see any votes. Pass initial state to preload state in your configure store function. And with a link to an issue, grab that. And I tried not giving an empty object because that's my initial, and then I return the init store object, which is the result, and it's still not working as expected. Let's go back to OG again. Still not.
OG or OP?
Are you down with OPP? Still not working as expected. Should I return something from the make store function? It's interesting what that implies. That they don't understand how make store works. That's what I need to make sure these are known as quotes, because this implies doesn't understand.
It's not clear. Yeah, it's not clear.
Make store. Like I know nothing about Next Redux wrapper, but I know that there's confusion around make store, and that like there's materials for that EBOM lesson stuff on make store because of this. And that's one of the things we uncovered just by looking at this post.
Actually, and next reply is, this is how make store function looks like.
Yeah.
So it's actually, hey, look at what I have. Maybe it's not.
I'm gonna just say R. Is that OP though? No, it's not. And this is how I use it. Let's see. What can I take from there? I guess I could take the code block. We'll say ready with example of how they use it. Uses make store. Let's make sure that's code. Oops. Make store in app.js. Oops. And make store.
Redux, damn it. I don't remember how to use Redux now.
It's a big switch statement.
It's like use reducer.
Yeah, no, it's not that I haven't used it. It's just like I haven't used it for a while. That
Right.
I just see code. And it's like, wait a minute, why?
Yeah.
It's like
The
Action.
boilerplate.
why?
Actions,
Why?
payloads,
Yeah,
all that. All
action
that.
creators.
Yeah.
Yeah, generators. Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I didn't like, is all the misdirection just makes my brain like stop functioning. Like, where's the actual work happening?
All right. So this is back to OP. All right. OP fires back with configure store. Is imported. Wait, this is a quote. In my case from, but does not change anything. Is imported from Redux. Whoa.
Redux wrapper. See that?
Wait, that looks like another replier, because OP has the mic by them.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, OP is this person. Yeah, S Trader. My bad. Thank you, Zach. Alrighty, so we're here regarding with Redux. Wow, still not working. OP, still not working. There's some struggle going on here.
Yeah.
Hey, Mahmood. Do you wrap your app with Redux provider tag? And if so, what do you pass the store prop? And thank you for trying to help me. Do you wrap your app? Do you wrap your app? That's a good question. With React Redux's provider
You're into higher order
tag.
functions, you do.
And if so, what do you pass as the store prop? So confusion around provider tag in React Redux. There's another, like, let's highlight that one.
Possible lesson.
Yes, I wrap with here is the render method. How do you get the store and the props? I'm using version 5. Looking to change log of version 6. It's funny how this is just JavaScript ecosystem right now. They're not passing to page props anymore. Well, that sucks. Wow, and 5 hours ago, things are still in a bad spot for S-Trader. S-Trader, if I knew how to solve this, I would reply.
That's an interesting thing. They said it sounds like they're using version 6, but they set up with version 5 boilerplate.
Oh yeah, used a boilerplate. That's
Used an old boilerplate at that.
Yeah. What am I doing? No, that's not the right. Used a V5. Yeah, V5 boilerplate. V6. I don't know when V6 is out. I should look that up. V6 is out, and the way passing and API changed. Well, let's say
Functionality changed?
yeah, I'll put that in the next line. Let's do, yeah, well, API changed between versions. API is out and not passing to page props anymore. All right, that's all I'm going to take from that one. That's a lot. Next post. Need help adding background video. Need help adding background video. And it is 1 second. There's my office at like 72 degrees on the thermostat is winter. At like 73, it's like a blazing inferno. And I don't know, like, I do not know how to get it to like 72 and a half or something.
Very specific.
Hey Zach, they sell big boxes of science at Costco now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna comment. You got some science you're sipping there.
This is
I'm sipping some. Oh, you can't see me.
this is rainbow unicorn science.
You love the rainbow
what
unicorn.
is that?
Oh,
For
it's
the non-US
and it, like,
viewers.
energy drinks will probably kill me by the next year, but
Okay.
it's one of those things like they're, zero carb and it's something to drink.
I have a prebiotic soda.
Oh wow, that sounds like fun. Oh wait, we opened this new tab.
They're saying it's healthy for me.
People say a lot
It's marketing.
of
You make your lives like it's
things. Need help
Infused
adding
with
background
apple
video.
cider vinegar.
Oh, this one is solved. The source should be video and P4.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Not
They'd edit the original post.
public video.mp4. All right, but this is also a quote. So let's do that.
Public is the built files, right?
Yeah. Well,
Sure.
public. Static or public?
Yeah,
one of the two.
but I guess you should not put in the actual link public. I guess.
Maybe they comment on it down here.
Yeah, there should be an answer. Yeah, you see,
Oh, yeah.
source is using public, so I
Yeah.
guess you should not add public there.
Right.
Oh, that might just be like a convention.
Well, it's just a path thing. It's in the public
Yeah.
folder, but you don't say public when you.
Yeah.
Reference
Also, that file, I guess, is also in the public folder, so there's no reason to go back and go in again to public. Actually, you cannot.
Yeah, they were just confused about the path there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good one. Confusion around public storing
serving.
files in public versus
Maybe it could
referencing
be
the URL of public or of slash
so like
the assets. URL.
topics on just storing files in Next.
Yeah. Storing
Yeah.
or static assets.
Yeah. How to handle static assets? It will be.
Yeah, and one thing we got to try and avoid is prescribing
right.
solutions.
Describing.
Yeah, we want to keep it at the question level, and then once we come back to review it, we figure out what conclusions might be. All right.
Is this usually the work for a collection, for a course, for a lesson, for anything?
It's for anything now. Historically, traditionally, whatever, we've had the mindset of take the stuff you're working on and make lessons around that. So just as recently as of yesterday when I was talking with Joel, like we're rebuilding Egghead Next. And I told Joel, I'm you know what, I'm going to put together some Next lessons around, some of the processes we use to build Egghead Next. And when we were talking, Joel suggested, you know what, we've been doing a lot of work around understanding by design and this the 30 by 500, which talks about doing your research versus just using research versus intuition. My experience is nice, but addressing the actual pain in the community is nicer. Okay. So, and it also leads to this is the stuff people are searching for. This is the stuff people are asking questions about. So while it'd be interesting to see, I put a course proposal together around building a digital garden in Next.js. And that's an exciting topic, but if I made a lesson around, make store and Next Redux Reducer, I know for sure I'd have one person who would watch that. And if I can put that in the context and group it with other things, then, that's even more powerful.
That's going to be helpful. Yeah.
But Zach, you've been through the UBD stuff, right? Or
Yeah.
Laura, you've been through that.
Well, not the full book, but yeah, I've been doing.
But the general ideas of
doing research.
Going through all this later with a UBD mindset would be pulling out essential questions, whether they're why is Next.js built with React? Why are static site important? Why is speed important? Why is file size? And questions that an essential question. Well, those aren't even essential questions. Essential questions are questions without solid answers that lead to discussion, and like being the person who leads a discussion around these things, and education by discussion, and education through learning about important things. So like these are concrete small things, and we'd have to like dial back and look at the bigger picture to figure out what to make the courses around. So
yeah, so but this is not the same as like what I saw from UBD, yeah.
Right.
That going backwards, right? You need to know what is the outcome, what is the goal, and then go backwards towards what you need to teach or show to get to that goal. This is not exactly going backwards. This is
right.
This is just going to the pain points of the actual topic and try to address them.
Yeah. This is painstorming is the word they use for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other word they use is called sales safari. A safari is like a hunt in Africa where you go to the watering holes of where the animals are getting their water, and you see what they're doing without interrupting them. And you just observe, and you see what their issues are, and you write it down in your notes so you can have a better understanding of the community.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
So whereas like for example, me, I've been at Egghead for 7 years or whatever. I've been able to focus on building the things that I want to, plenty of demos using the latest tech, making lessons around things that are like really challenging that I found, challenged my ways of thinking. And I thought that'd be cool to share with other people. But is that what people are doing at real jobs? Is that what is really out there in the world?
Good.
So.
Yeah, so there's two frameworks going. There's 30 by 500, and then there's like UDB framework, but you can use both to create content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like building up real data points to reference moving forward.
Yeah, and that's all we're doing right now is just gathering, essentially, observing, gathering, making
not making conclusions, just getting information. That's it.
Yeah, and we're pretty deep into these communities, so we'll be able to get to like the ways of like the demos and the ways of helping fairly easily, because we're all more or less experts. Like we've been doing this stuff, and providing these sorts of answers is will really come down to what's the like finding the right questions to present to them, and the proper discussions to have around this stuff, and the right materials. So yeah, it's really that shift of making lessons from what you're interested in or from what you're working on to we want our courses to be like something that's really going to help the community, really going to get them engaged, and really help them move forward. And the end goal of UBD is success in real world scenarios. Like you're preparing people to be successful in the world. Like the end goal of 30 by 500 is to have a community that you're providing education to, and that you can eventually, build something up to sell something to them. So their end goals are different, but sorry.
That is going to be easier to sell something at the end because you're giving value to them.
Right. You've built the trust. You've built your name or whatever in the community and all that.
And then
at least that's my understanding. This is my first pass through both of them. So
nice.
This is just
one quote that I got from UBD was like, teacher told like, I don't want my students to know how to read. I want them to love to read.
Right.
Which is like kind of similar, but it's a completely different mindset, and I really love that idea.
Yeah, I love the idea of like they use the word get them hooked on the topic. And once you find the right question that gets someone engaged in the topic, then they want to do the research themselves. And if there's anything I know about, a lot of programmers have, and I'm not saying all programmers should be this way, but a lot of programmers do, like they'll go home and do open source on the side, or they'll experiment with stuff when they get home. And it's because they're hooked. Like they want to know more and they want to get deeper. And, there's something that came up at work that inspired them to do those things. And like, we want to be a platform that inspires people to learn more. So it's like I've experienced that all throughout my career, that feeling of, oh, I got to know more about that. Like I'm going to look into that on my own and figure it all out because that's exciting. Like that's fun. So yeah, I love to read because it's answering the real things that I want to learn. And any hoozle. My website, I'm going to quote that. Well, my website in the standard fashion. Which means that this person believes, or OP believes, they're doing, they're following the normal standards. I'm always curious by this one, like how many people believe they're doing it the right way, and then they learn later on that that they're not.
Yeah, like his standard fashion, like PHP, or like where did they come from to build that idea of whatever the standard fashion is?
Yeah. And like this line right here is when you think of copy or ways to get people interested in your content, like I can use this quote. Have you tried Googling and looking through docs but had no luck?
That's
like
so good.
That's good.
Yeah, and it's just something someone said, and like it's not my words, it's their words. And that's where like Amy is the master at this, where she can write an article and you think she's talking directly to you because she's using all the words that you would use if you were asking those questions. And if I said this in some sort of promotional email about static assets in Next.js or whatever, like that's the combo.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. This doesn't look like pain. Well,
I think that person Googles or search wrong, because in the documentation, it's actually the answer there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that happens. That's also
it
like,
happens.
Yeah.
Makes me think, like, what is the standard fashion? And
oh yeah, that's true.
The words that they used mean to Google search it, whatever their standard fashion was not getting them to the correct docs.
What words? Whoops.
WADs.
Did they use to Google?
Goggle.
The goggle. What words you goggling? What words they use to goggle, and what is there truly a normal way or standard fashion?
Drop the docs link in the chat.
All right. Let's see.
Where is the chat?
The Discord chat?
Voice chat text.
There's a voice chat text channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's on, let's see. That's on my PC, and I don't have it set up to like copy text over, so. Discord's running on my PC. I'm working on my Mac. That's it's one of those things that I just haven't figured out yet. Alrighty. I don't know if there's like this is kind of pain, but like this is someone else trying to be helpful. I wonder if
someone else painstormed.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And no comments on it, so view discussions into other communities. Yeah, we'll skip that one. That's someone showing something off. Here we go. Actually, I should be grabbing these links as I go through this. Let's see, how to run.
I think it's the opposite way.
Is it the opposite way?
Yeah. Oh man. In Emacs, I just learned how to transpose things.
Text link. Yeah, you're right. I should always use that shortcut.
Which made me think of that.
What do you mean transpose things?
So, there's a command where it'll look at what's on the left of your cursor and the right of your cursor, and you can swap them.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. Sorry.
It's useful, you know. Can be.
Let's see. Someone on Twitch said they can't see the image.
I think the video says video download was canceled.
Video download was canceled? On what? Oh,
Error 1000.
I've never seen that before.
Stream, yeah, it's
all right, that looks back.
You got fancy music going on in the Twitch stream.
Yeah, actually, let me change that up. Have you heard of this app? It's called. Wait, can you hear the music? Are you on Twitch?
Yes,
I can switch. Yeah.
So there's this app called Amplify Studio where you can grab drums and bass lines and stuff. So just gonna play with like various. Let's do live wire metal drums and Nest Brutal. I don't know what this will sound like. Nice. And then we'll find a bass line we can drop with that. Do Crystal Heavy. And just like leave that looping in the background while I'm working. And if I end up on anything I like, I'll actually like turn it into something. Yeah, I'm silly, I know.
That's awesome.
Seems like a really complex setup.
Well, it's just dragging samples over.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
You should hear what John has to go through to then also have video streaming his hands.
Oh yeah, well the beautiful thing about that one is like the GoPros recently got updated to like work as webcams.
Oh,
so
nice.
You can get like a tiny camera, like portable, that you can place. You could wear it on your head or whatever. But I'm looking forward to trying that one again. Like before, I had to like do a tripod with a camera pointing down and all sorts of stuff. But now I could like attach to the desk and just have it look over and down on top of it. So yeah. And the GoPros are only like $200 something, I think, for the more recent ones. Like that's competitive.
Oh, wow.
That's competitive with a nice webcam. and the image quality is great. So they might take over
Good
some
option.
of that
Yeah.
live streamer budget or live streamer money.
Yeah.
Where are we at? We're here.
Wow. Weren't the older versions like $600?
Yeah, they were like 400 or 500. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm not going to open Amazon on my main screen. What's a GoPro?
No free advertisement here.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it's 400. Let's see.
300. I see.
Maybe I
Hero
was thinking.
7. Which one?
Oh, the Hero
Which
7's
is-
248. Yeah. I think the 8s.
Yeah,
the
Hero
8
8, 392.
Yeah, the 8s are the ones that can do webcam, but 9s are coming out soon, so the 8 should go down in price. But it's one of those things, like, it's just a USB-C cable, and it charges it and provides the video, so...
Yeah,
like,
it's a very good option.
Yeah. Anyhoozle. Only on the initial upload in the back end. Let's see, meaning that this would be my flow. The user sends request to load the web page, gets a side prop, runs in the back end, and returns the props that populate the page, and then the rendered HTML is served. How much of that do I need to write down? Probably all of it. The user sends request. And Amy did say, like, no copy and pasting, because then you, like, lose the pain of it or something. Like, it's even better if you write it down with a pencil, because you want to experience the pain that they took to type the thing out on the back end. And return the props that populate the page and then the rendered. HTML is
I almost
served.
asked you why you weren't copy pasting.
Yeah.
Like I even wanted you to why not just paste it?
Yeah, it's way easier that way, for sure. But you want to feel it. Like, a lot of this is about the
Yeah,
feeling
that
of
makes
it.
sense.
Like the empathy.
Yeah, the empathy of it all. I don't want to type this out. Breathe. Okay, inhale. Here we go. The user
You
now
got this.
navigates in the front end. Front end to a different
You got like
page
104 words per minute, right?
on the website. I used to before I switched layouts, but now
You
I
can
haven't
type
focused on
and
speed.
speak. So yeah,
Oh,
that's a superpower.
Type in Dvorak.
yeah.
No, wait, Colmac.
It's
What is
Colmac.
it?
Yeah,
Colmac.
it's Colmac. I should be focusing on what I'm typing though. Instead, I just want the regular React life cycle to be executed. Meaning use effect. Interesting. That's interesting right there. So that my own Redux actions would do the API call and population of the page. I do have a life goal of learning stenography. Like, you know, what court reporters do, the way they type. That looks really fun to me.
Is that like shorthand?
It's
I guess I could probably Google it. Or have you Google it.
yeah.
Oh, right. That does look fun.
I ever wonder how Nano is not typing or record, but actually
Just show someone doing it.
YouTube.
Yeah, this.
Right?
The STTR will indicate when a new person starts to speak.
That's so
it
cool.
looks
Oh
like this.
yeah, this is really cool. I saw that.
Oh,
If
wow.
people's names are given in
Yeah.
advance, the STTR
But the keyboards
can
are,
program their
like-
software.
They have different shapes.
True, but you can take any, like, a lot of the new Ergo docs or Kinesis or Keyboard IOs, or a lot of them can be set up to do stenography.
To do this. Yeah.
Any keyboard that supports the what's called N key rollover, where you can press multiple keys at the same time and have them all register.
Okay.
Does Happy or Ultimate Hacker hacking keyboard do that?
Yeah, most good keyboards do it, which is one of the stupid reasons that I will always be on a MacBook Pro, because they support N key rollover, but like the vast majority of Windows laptops don't. Which is
the idea of a one-shot as well?
No, it's like the whole idea of chording, of pressing multiple keys at the same time.
Right.
Falls
or is one shot the opposite of that?
I don't think they're really related much.
Okay.
I have customized some of my one shots recently. I like
Ooh.
Crystal Punchy. Let's do that.
I'm still just mainly on forward delete for my shift. That's I think my single most used key now. Well, and control for caps lock, but those two are probably my most used keys now.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite one shot right now is if I just press Alt, it goes to the terminal and Command goes back.
Oh, that's dope.
But I recently did right Alt to open my actions.
Nice.
And Control to open my file search.
And this is all mapped in VS Code.
It's all mapped here. Yeah.
Well, I meant in the VS Code context.
Right. Yeah. So it's all limited to code.
Nice.
And one thing I've been playing with, which I'm really enjoying, is an escape mode in VS Code. So when I hold down escape, which is in my thumb row, and if I hit E, let's see here. If I hit E, it jumps the Explorer. Or I can toggle the Explorer forward and or open and closed. Or I can, I can jump to the GitHub stuff, like holding escape and like using that to navigate VS Code.
Nice.
I think that's good. Like the idea of escaping something and going back to normal focus, or like escape as a modifier key to like adjust focus, is something that pleases my keyboard senses. So I'm working on that one.
It's like almost build your own Vim.
Yeah, I have opinions on Vim.
I had. Well, yeah, they're layers. They're not chords, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're modes.
Modes.
They're modes versus layers. Yeah. All right. Back to business at hand. Let me toggle my terminal really quickly. Look at that.
I'm hopping off.
All right.
Thanks
See
for
you,
the stream.
Yeah, thanks for
See
coming.
you. Bye.
I also got a meeting to hop to.
Okay, later, Zach.
This was fun.
Alrighty. How to run get server-side props only on the first app load. Let me make sure. So I did those two. I know that get initial props exists, but everyone keeps on saying it's not best practice. Ooh, that's a great one. Get initial props a best practice? That's an excellent one. Saying it's not a best practice and that it's deprecated or going to be deprecated. Is get initial props going to be deprecated. Post continues my adventure in the search for the perfect full stack web app. That'll be a great quote. My adventure in the search for the perfect full stack web app. Flow from this post and others. My final goal is to create. My final goal is to create a Redux store on the back end and populate it with the relevant data for the current page and serve the Redux store with all the populated data to the front end. Is Redux store on the back end a good idea? So my front end would be able to interact with that data in the many different components and pages that would need it, and all that without needing to fetch again. Without needing to fetch again. So that's OP, and we'll say reply is using get initial props on app.js is the way to, oops, it's the way to go here. I wouldn't worry about get initial props being deprecated until the Next.js team says it is, which they haven't. Alrighty. That's good for that one. Is Next.js worth it? So that's a blog post. We can look through that. Wait. Link is Next.js worth? Let's go with a reply. I'm not really looking. Please explain how it's a very smooth shift for Rails developers. All right. Let's grab a different base here. I like that quote. The Next.js contributors truly understand the principles of minimalism. It's extremely extensible, yet the framework rarely gets in your way, which makes it equally suitable for complex and simple projects. I aggressively recommend Next.js for anyone with SSR requirements. That begs the question, what are SSR requirements? Why is Next.js a better solution for SSR than other options? And another reply person, we'll call this person R2. Newly formed love for Next. Friends still wonder if it's worth it. Once you know a stack, it is definitely easier to keep at it. I think people are curious about others' experience. People want to know the reasons why other people choose frameworks or choose Next.js in this context. All right. So those are great questions right there. Great things to focus on. Component library detached. All right. Link component. Whoops. If I can type component library detached from Next.js project. Let's grab this. Wait, I think I have a shortcut for this. Do I? I do have a shortcut for that, so I can do that. Okay. Yeah, I have the shortcut where if I hit a keyboard shortcut on my machine, it generates a markdown link from the title and grabs the current link from the browser. So I can use that for sure. We're building a headless shop. Let's see. I want a way to mark. Let's see. Maybe just a bulleted list. Building a headless shop with Next.js and Shopify. Ooh. Using Vercel. Extractor components. We want to extract our components so we'll be able to use them in various other projects. Should we share components across projects, or let's say the value of sharing components across projects? Definite things to look at. However, we've stumbled on some issues. Suppose we have a dev team that's working on a new landing page consisting of new components, and that also tweaks a few existing components. I'll have to start a new branch with these updates. Using npm link, the devs can use the tweak components locally in the Next.js project. However, when they commit and push their changes, Vercel will build using the wrong components version, since they're still working on those components. All right, so versioning components presents a issues across projects. They'll have to start a new branch. Is starting a new branch a bad idea? It's implying that that's a bad idea. We'll publish these components on an npm or on a npm registry. Let's see, we'll do that. The issue here. Where did that go? The issue here is that we can't publish components yet, since the feature is still in progress. Not approved. If there are multiple teams working on features that need changes to the front end components, this can get complex quite easily. All right. I like multiple teams working on the same components. That's a great topic. Is there any kind of workaround for this problem? Alrighty. How can I highlight these? Like that? I'll try that for now and figure out more as I play with it. I think I've had similar thoughts with the component library our agency is working in. I think it just comes to versioning. So reply person number 1. Think it just comes to versioning. If you want to test new changes in a public environment such as Vercel, then you need those changes to be public. Okay. Using different versions, you could keep your old app running, your components version 1, your new app running, your components version 0.1. However, you just mean for the purpose of testing, it's possible to just specify a particular branch or GitHub repo to use for a library. This will then be respected by Vercel. So I think I'll grab the quote using different versions. You could keep your old app running. An old version, well, we'll do what they did. 0.0.1 and your new app running 0.1.0. Only disadvantage is that when we use, okay, so this is back to OP. Disadvantage is that when we use the Git repo, Vercel can't know it changed when updated. So we'll have to uninstall that package before every build by altering the build command. But I guess that's possible by calling the npm uninstall command before building with Next. but I guess it's a valid strategy. Okay. So the question is, how can Vercel know that a package changed? Excellent question. That's a good question. Yes, I did think about that. Okay, we're back to reply person. Kind of thought it might install a fresh version anyway, since it is a direct repo reference rather than a version. Also, I think I saw a way to force a deployment to install a full fresh npm modules that might be using Vercel CLI. That would be a workaround. Force a deployment to install a full fresh npm modules. Have been using Vercel CLI. That would be a workaround. Is everyone using the Vercel CLI? Is forcing a deployment good idea? Does Next.js often run into npm modules issues? If your components are being tweaked for each project that you're doing, you're going to be missing the benefits of having a component library, consistency, maintain, blah, blah, blah. Could I either create a package? Let's do that. If your components are being tweaked for each project that you're doing, you're going to be missing the benefits of having a component library. Ooh, that's a great one. What are the benefits of having a component library? Eesh. i.e. consistency, maintainability, etc. And we use npm publish folder tag next if we want to release preview version 2 npm.js. The branch of the consuming project itself need to reference the npm module and a tag though. Let's do values of referencing specific npm modules in a different branch, something like that. That's not good English. If the change made to your component library is not backwards compatible, then you probably want to publish it a new major version. right. Let's see. Is it possible to export SSG components and pages to static files? I have a use case where I need to render dashboards with charts. Okay. They also need to be exportable. Yikes. Into a PDF or PowerPoint. Both PDF and PowerPoint would be preferable. My plan is to write server-side code to generate these export files, but I'd like to be able to reuse the same charts used in the dashboard. All right, so render a PDF of a chart in Next.js. There's a fun idea for a lesson. So we have an experience in recommending libraries. Let's just do they're looking for libraries as a solution. Aren't we all? I'm not sure if you would like to export a single component, a bunch of components, or an entire page, but an npm package with the name JSPF should do that. A npm package with the name JSPDF should do the job with PDF. JSPF looks like it constructs PDFs programmatically, but I don't see a way of turning a component or a page into PDF directly from HTML. I'm not sure you can do that to make a PDF. There needs to be some schematics. If you have used something like LaTeX to make PDFs and become clear, PDFs are code. And to create a code, you have to either write it or generate it with some kind of tool that knows what it is doing. Let's see. Say to make a PDF, there are some schematics. PDFs are code. I mean, again, it's their markup. Those aren't very helpful. Can you render a component to a PDF? All right. I highly advise you not use get initial props as it is deprecated. It's not deprecated. It is recommended to use get static props and get server side props for Next. That's probably like the key point here. It is recommended to use get static props and get server server side props for Next.js 9.3 or newer. This is probably the key takeaway of all of this. I have a specific use case that would work with get initial props and not with get server side props. The use case is creating Redux store only on the initial app load and providing the populated store to the front. Interesting. So the question is, what use cases need get initial props? When do you use get server side props? And when do you use, what was the other one? Get static props. How do you migrate from a previous version of Next.js that uses get initial props to get server side props and get static props? Migration questions are always fun. Alrighty, that's all I'm taking from that one. I'm not going to worry about that. Alrighty, it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to go grab some lunch. I'll probably be back on later. So, check you later.